Thanks for tuning into the Aisha Cogburn Show, where we help you connect your purpose and your passion with your profession. I'm your host, enjoy work expert and life coach, Aisha Cogburn. Now, I've been hearing a lot of rumblings from you all about work here, especially after we've had this nice long holiday break for many of you, and you had to go back to work, and a lot of people really didn't want to go back to work. And, I hear from a lot of you that you're not satisfied, you're not fulfilled in your careers. And so, yesterday on my Facebook status update, I decided to pose a question in the form of a fill in the blank. And so the question was, work is fill in the blank. So how would you answer that question? What is work to you? So here are some of the questions that I got or responses rather, that I got from Facebook. I've got, work is not the best investment of my time. It's not what I want to be doing right now. It's a blessing. The economy is so bad that a job is 1 in a million. And I got paying my bills, so I won't complain. Now, don't get me wrong. I completely agree that having a job, particularly in a really bad economy, steady work, a paycheck coming in, is a blessing. It certainly is. But you know what? I can't help but to think of this scenario in my head. I picture going back to the days of slavery here in the United States. And I think of Harriet Tubman going to free a group of slaves from a plantation. And I think of some of those people being excited about the possibility of living free of bondage and all the opportunities that may present for them. But then I know that there had to be a couple of them that said, well, you know what? At least we got a roof over our heads. At least we get food. It might not be perfect, but hey, we're alive. It's a blessing. I'm okay. I'll stay right here. Or, I think about, the book of Exodus, when Moses was leading the children of Israel out of captivity, out of Egypt. And, they were in that thing for a while. And after a while, people got to murmuring and complaining and feeling like, you know what? We were better off in Egypt as slaves. Even though they ate good every day, even though all of their needs were met, they felt like, well, at least I'll be miserable doing what I know, versus taking a chance. Even when the promised land was flowing with milk and honey, they knew that. They knew where they were going was going to be great. So I know that those are two very extreme comparisons. I know that. I accept that. Here's the thing. You've heard me say this before. Misery does not have to be a condition of employment. And so this week, what I want to do is I want to offer you 3 compelling reasons why you should not just settle for unhappiness when it comes to your career. All right, you ready? So here is reason number 1. Your level of job satisfaction impacts your overall quality of life. I mean, think about it. You spend probably more than half of your waking hours working. And I can't help but to think about, that old saying, when mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. Because if you're not happy in such a huge area of your life, if you don't have satisfaction or fulfillment there, it's going to trickle over into other areas of your life. You may find that you're fighting a lot with your spouse or your significant other, or you don't have as much patience for your kids, or, we all know of that friend that, was going through some stuff at work, and it seems like they just kind of fell off the face of the earth, just became completely withdrawn. And I don't want you to become that person. Here's reason number 2. Work-related stress can have a huge impact on your physical health. Guess it was about 5 years ago. I was working for a wonderful corporation, had a comfortable salary, lots of perks, and worked with some of the most talented people literally around the world. But I really wasn't happy with me. I was up late one night working, as I often did, and I got sick. And over the course of a couple of hours, and I'm still trying to work, mind you, I was in so much pain, I literally could not stand up straight. So after a 3 a.m. emergency room visit and lots of doctor's appointments and tests later, I was finally diagnosed with ulcerative colitis and gallbladder failure, had surgery, was on medication, the whole 9 yards. But you know the crazy thing about it? Every time I even thought about going back to work, my symptoms got worse. Isn't that crazy? So a lot of people would just say, well, it's all psychological, right? You didn't want to be at work, so you psyched yourself out to make yourself sick so you didn't have to be there. It's not psychological. There are true physical manifestations created by stress. I mean, 'cause stress triggers this alarm in our body where, we're ready for defense. What we've come to know as that fight or flight response. But when our body is in that elevated state, so often, it really takes its toll. I mean, it really increases the wear and tear on our bodies, and we'll find that our systems cannot heal themselves the way that they used to or defend themselves. And we've opened ourselves up to be more prone for injuries and diseases. And here is compelling reason number 3 why you should not accept misery as a condition of employment. Because you can do something about it. Now again, I'm not telling you to go quit your job. Doesn't have to be that extreme. But what you need to recognize is there are some things that are within your control and you need to act on them. So here's what I'm going to do. Every week on the Aisha Cockburn Show, I'm going to give you a homework assignment. So here is your assignment for the week. I want you to answer these 3 questions. Number 1, on a scale of 0 to 5, how would you rate your work-related stress? So 0 being I don't have any, 5 being it's at the ceiling. Where are you at on that scale? 0 to 5. Question number 2, what are the biggest causes of your work-related stress? What are those things that trigger it for you? Maybe it's workload or unrealistic demands, or maybe you feel like you're not equipped or don't have the resources to do your job effectively. Maybe it's interpersonal relationships at work. So whatever it is, I want you to identify what are those triggers for you. And here's number 3, question number 3, last question. Now that you've identified what those stressors are, what can you do about it? What's within your control? Now, if workload's an issue, you may not be able to get the company to hire somebody else to share your workload, but maybe you can have a conversation with your manager about, setting some realistic expectations about deadlines. Or maybe you can develop a proposal to restructure your role to show how you can eliminate maybe some of the low value work that you're doing and focus on the things that are going to deliver the most results. And if you can show how the company is going to benefit, then you might have a great argument there. So again, look at the things that are within your control. Now you got 2 choices. You can sit up and continue to whine and complain to everybody about how you hate your job and how miserable you are and have panic attacks on Sunday nights. If that's what you want to do, go for it. That's a choice. Or you can take action. You can take action. The choice is yours. But let me add this little motivator in. When we talking about those health issues, I'll just share with you that the medication that I was on when I was dealing with my stuff, it took my hair out. It caused neuropathy long term. I don't think you want to deal with any of that stuff. So if all you got to do is have a conversation to bring some peace in your life and keep yourself from getting sick, perhaps add some years to your life, don't you think it's worth it? Well, I certainly do. Well, that's it for this week's show. I want to thank you again for tuning in. Remember to bookmark this page so that you can come back here every week for a new edition. And be sure that you share this with everybody you know who can benefit. Don't be stingy and keep it to yourself. Go ahead and share the love. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week. Do your homework.